welcome back to Habits and Humor, the show where you come to learn simple changes that you can do in your everyday life that over time will make all the difference. This is where you come to turn what you want into what you have and who you want to be into who you are, using these simple actions that make those life-changing results. I'm Susie B. I'm the mom of 4 kids. I'm married to my best friend. I'm a personal trainer and an avid happiness and habits obsessor. When my life got hard and heavy, I had to find a way to regain my happiness, how to simplify and be happy again. That's when I discovered 1-2-3 habits. And I went from the darkest, hardest year of my life and spectacularly overwhelmed to incredibly happy and motivated and continuously moving forward. Every week on this show, I share embarrassing stories to keep you entertained and engaged, and also to make it relatable, but also to make it memorable so that what I teach from these embarrassing moments and funny stories, you can remember and then actually put them into your life. At the end of every episode, I'm going to give you 3 takeaway habits, not just ideas that may or may not come into your life. If what you learn on today's show is applicable to you, if it resonates with you and it's something that you need in your life, I'm going to give you 3 ways to make that happen today. Are you ready for this? All right. So this week we are talking about health habits. Actually, this whole month, the next 4 weeks, we are going to talk about healthy habits. That's where my baseline is. That's what my education is in, what I went to college for. And I've been a personal trainer for 12 years. This is what I absolutely love. This is where my passion lies, is helping people to understand and embrace and improve their health. And about 5 years ago, I really discovered the power of habits in forming these healthy changes in your life. So that's what we're going to focus on today, is some healthy habits that you can do in your life that are going to make a difference for your health starting right now. I'm not going to have you set a 5-year goal or a 6-month goal or a 1-year goal. I want you to decide, what can I do today that's going to improve my health? Because that's all that we can control. We are entirely in control of what happens right here, right now. So let's focus in on that. Before we get into the details of weight loss and fat burn and how to lift weights and how to count calories and all of that good stuff, I want to give you a piece of the puzzle that a lot of people are missing that prevents them from succeeding long term. This is sort of an unsexy habit, we'll put it that way, that most people don't want to tackle because they don't think about it. So we are going to start with injury prevention. Did you know that injury prevention is one of the top causes for people giving up on their health journey across the board in every country, men, women, everybody? If you have an injury, it keeps you from succeeding. It keeps you from achieving those healthy goals. You've been there. You have started on an exercise plan and then you got a knee injury, or you rolled your ankle, or something happened that prevented you from being able to exercise the way you want. And because you couldn't exercise the way you want, it affected all of your other health choices. Did it not? It absolutely does. You know what I'm talking about. You've been there. Most of us have been there anyway. So today I'm going to talk to you about some super awesome injury prevention tips that you can use every single day. These 3 habits that you can use starting now that will help you to prevent injury in the future. And if you already have an injury, this may eliminate it entirely. I've worked with clients who have had a knee injury for 20+ years, and they come to me and within 2 weeks, that knee pain is gone. It's incredible. Absolutely amazing what you can do with tiny little changes. So let's talk about what we're getting into today. Today I want to focus on knee injuries in particular. Lower extremity injuries. Anything from your hips down, hips, knees, ankles, feet, all of those kind of injuries are related. The human body is amazing in that it is one unit and it all works together. So if we start at the bottom and work our way up, we can retrain our bodies to work together as that one unit and help it remember that all of these different parts and pieces of the puzzle actually work together. Once we retrain it to work together, a lot of the risk of injury goes away because your body knows how to support itself, even in unexpected times, which is when a lot of injuries happen. So let's talk about how to prevent injuries. But first, I got to tell you a funny story so that it will help you to remember. When I was in college, I walked onto the college track team as a pole vaulter. My coach's name is Dave Nilsson, and he is one of the smartest people I have ever met in terms of the human body. Well, in terms of everything, but he was very, very well educated on how the human body works, and he completely changed the way that I see my body. He was very much about preventing injuries because, I mean, on the track team, we were high-level athletes that were pushing our bodies every single day. I was a heptathlete and a pole vaulter, so I was doing 6 hours of workouts every day. Talk about needing to not be hurt. If you're hurt, all of the training time is affected, hugely so. So he had a huge focus on how to prevent injuries and how to help us to be constantly aware of what our bodies need and how to adjust to those needs. So like I said, I was a pole vaulter, and at one pole vault track meet, we were at Weber State University in Ogden, Utah. And I remember it was a beautiful, beautiful day, sun was shining, and it was one of the very first outdoor events I had done. I'd already done an indoor season with pole vault, but I had never done outdoor. And when I walked onto the track meet in college, I had no experience as a pole vaulter. I'd never done it in high school. We didn't have a coach, pole vault coach at my high school, and so I never learned how, but I'd always wanted to. And one of my friends in college said that he knew the pole vault coach at the college and he was doing it. And he's like, why don't you just come to a couple of practices and try it out? And I totally fell in love. So I jumped on the track team, and Coach Nelson was amazing to just let me walk on. And I worked very, very hard to learn this incredible skill. So anyway, we were at this Weber State track meet, and this was, like I said, I'm a beginner. This is one of my first meets, but I really, really wanted to do well. I'd done an indoor season, so I had my feet under me and I knew how to do it. And now I wanted to start improving my record. And so I bought myself some new spikes, and my spikes are track shoes, if you don't know, that have little spikes on the bottom, these little metal spikes that help you to get a lot of traction and an extra push through your feet so that you can really accelerate quickly and push off and do all the things so that you have really good contact with the track. Anyway, so one day I was pole vaulting and I was pushing myself to get a new personal record, and I was shooting for 10 feet 6. And my record at this point was 10 feet. And I remember I was running down the track and I had my brand new spike shoes on and I was all excited. And I planted and I lifted up into the air and I went clear up over that bar, totally vertical. It was awesome. I felt really, really good. I knew that my form was pristine. I was super excited. I made it over the bar, cleared, made a PR, got really, really excited. But on the way down, I spiked myself. If you've ever done this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I came down, and falling from 10 feet in the air, you fall into a mat that's about 4 feet in the air. So it's really only a 6-foot drop. But as you fall into the mat, it really absorbs a lot of your pressure. And so you sink in pretty good. And one of my feet was sort of sideways and the other one landed right on my ankle. And so I spiked myself in the ankle, but when I landed on the mat, my spike just dragged all the way down my ankle. I probably have a 3-inch scar where this happened. And when it happened, I knew it had done something, but I didn't really feel it because I was so excited that I'd cleared the bar. And so I didn't really pay attention to it. And I was so excited. And I jumped up to tell my teammates, like, yeah, I did it. And they're like, you're bleeding. So I look down and I've got this big gash down my leg and I'm bleeding. I'm a bleeder. My body just really knows how to pump that blood through there. And so it's dripping down my leg and it's all over my brand new shoes and I'm getting it on the mat. So I jump off the mat and I run over to the bleachers where the trainers are, but I'm leaving a trail all the way behind me. So now there's just, it's making a big mess all over the track, all over the bleachers. Anyway, so we get it all taken care of and somehow it didn't really hurt. I don't know if I was just hopped up on adrenaline or what, but it didn't really hurt. I wasn't in pain, but anyway, I'd made a big, huge mess and made a big embarrassment of myself, but I'd made the bar and I got a PR. So that was exciting. So anyway, to wrap this all back in here, let's talk about injuries. So from that point, because I had this super weird, unique injury that I'd managed, my coach had done all the injury prevention he could to keep me from injuring myself, but I still managed. I'm that good. Anyway, so we we're talking about how to adjust for this injury and all of this stuff. And he wraps me up every day and I do all the prep every day. And it causes me a lot of extra work. That's what I want to focus on for you today. If you don't prevent the injury from happening beforehand, once it happens, you can still do what you need to do, but it causes a lot of extra work. It causes a lot of extra pain, a lot of extra hassle in order to work around that injury. Most of you are not going to spike yourself in the ankle. Most of you aren't going to experience this absurd injury, but most of you probably will have a lower extremity injury, especially if you're female. The female body goes through a biological change after we have children, and the leg muscles between the inside of your knees and the outside of your knees become imbalanced just because of the way things work. And so unless we understand that and we fight back against that, we are naturally going to experience what is called foot turnout. And this is simply what it sounds like. Your feet will start to turn out. So the muscles on the inside of your knees become a little bit weaker than the muscles on the outside of your knees, and your knees will start to pull your feet toward the outside. Or the opposite can happen, where your feet will just begin to turn out naturally, and that will put the tension on your knees. So either or, whatever is the cause of the problem, your knees turning out first or your feet turning out first, the way to fix this problem isn't actually by fixing your knees. Here's some statistics for you. 800,000 knee replacements are done every single year in the United States alone. 800,000 knee replacements. 90% of these only last 10 years. Are you understanding this craziness? People get a surgery that completely replaces their knee joint, and it only lasts them for 10 years. If that doesn't tell you that that's not fixing the problem, I don't know what will. You cannot fix a knee injury by fixing the knee. You have to figure out what is causing the knee injury and fix that. So what is causing the knee injuries? 90% of the time, knee injuries are caused by foot placement issues. Improper foot placement can cause knee issues, hip issues, ankle issues, all sorts of issues. So what we're going to talk about today is foot placement. This is one of my favorite topics because it is such an easy, simple fix that can make a lifelong difference. It is absolutely fascinating what you can do by just changing how you place your feet when you step. The power of this is so huge that because you take steps all day long, every time that you walk, you place your foot. That is thousands and thousands of steps a day. If the average person takes 10,000 steps a day over a year, over 10 years, you know what I'm saying? This is millions of steps that we are going to be taking in our lives. And if we can master how to step properly so that we don't injure our knees and ankles and hips, it will make a huge, colossal difference in the way that we feel for life. Most of us don't have a knee injury until we're in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. But if we learn this simple trick, even if you have a knee injury when you're 15 years old and you've dealt with it for 40 years, this simple change with your foot placement can actually make that knee pain go away, surgery free. This is the cheapest way for you to fix your knee pain right here. And by cheapest, I mean totally free. So there's 3 things I'm going to give you, 3 habits that I'm going to have you learn today that will help you to eliminate pain in your knees and learn how your knees work and learn how to support them so that your knees, ankles, feet, hips, all of those lower parts of your body are working together. Your body is one unit. We want to teach it how to work as a team. All right, so the first habit that I want to talk about to you today is called just foot placement. So I'm going to show a couple of videos here really quickly and show you what I'm talking about. If you are catching the audio version of this, you can find these videos on the Habits and Humor group on Facebook. So this right here is a video of proper foot placement. So you can see the toes are stepping forward. And if you look at it, there are really 3 points on the foot that are placed. The first point is the heel. And then the next point is the big toe and the baby toe on the ball of the foot. If you think about it like a tripod, you've got 3 spots on your feet that you want to touch every time you step. So if you think about your foot as a tripod, you drop your heel first, and then you want to drop your big toe and your baby toe at the same time. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You want to make sure that those are even. I'm going to show that video one more time so you can see how that looks. 1, 2, 3. So my big toe and baby toe are dropping at the same time just after I touch my heel to the ground. Look at my knees now. You see how my knees are bending straight forward? My hips are in alignment. All the things are lining up simply because of the way that I'm placing my foot. Now I'm going to show you another video. This is called turnout. So you'll see that if you look at this video, at the first 2 steps, it's kind of hard to tell. I'm going to restart that. The first 2 steps, it's kind of hard to tell if the foot is off by very much. It's only off by about 1 inch. But when it goes to slow motion there, you can really see how different that is. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to play that one more time. The right foot is still being placed forward. The left foot has a slight turnout, about 1 inch off of center. 1 inch can be the difference between a healthy knee and an unhealthy knee. I'm going to pause it right here. Look at the direction my right knee is facing. It's facing perfectly directly forward. Look at the direction my left knee is facing. It's facing out. Do you see the problem here? The knee is a single hinge joint, which means it only wants to bend one way. When you turn your foot out, your knee has to bend 2 ways. And when your knee has to bend 2 ways and it's not made for that, something has to give. And that thing that gives is your interior support, which is why so many people tear their MCLs and ACLs. Those are 2 of the most common knee injuries in the world. And they happen to a ton of people, whether you're an athlete or not. It does not matter. It simply has to do with the way you place your foot on the ground, whether you are exercising, working out, or just walking across a parking lot to your car. Every single time you step, you place your foot either properly or improperly. That's just the basic truth to it. And the more you can focus on turning those feet forward, let's go back to the forward turnout video, or excuse me, the forward non-turnout video. Forward placement, keep those feet forward. You're going to put your heel down and then you're going to drop your big toe and your baby toe at the same time. Don't worry about turning your foot forward. Don't worry about putting your knee forward. The only cue you need to give yourself is big toe, baby toe. If those 2 things drop at the same time, your foot and your knee will be forward. So that is today's first habit. When you step, I want you to think big toe, baby toe. Talk to yourself, step. Every time you step, think forward. Think forward. Think big toe, baby toe at the same time, and your toe and your knee and your foot will be placed all in direct alignment with your hips. It will make a massive difference. Give yourself about a 2-week adjustment, both mentally and physically. For the first 2 weeks that you do this, it might feel weird. It might feel different. You might feel a little bit of strain in different places, but this actually is a good thing. This is things remembering, okay, actually, this is where we're supposed to go. This is undoing perhaps what has already been done and working you back toward forward placement. Even if you don't have knee pain yet, this is a fabulous skill to practice. I want you to step with your foot placing forward so that your toes, your big toe and your baby toe drop at the same rate, at the same time. If we can do that one thing, we will take so much pressure off of our knees, put it back on the muscles and take it out of the joints so that our joints can function properly and our muscles can support where they need to. Super simple, super easy, super duper life-changing and effective. Habit number 2 is squat form. Same thing with the foot placement. I want to talk to you about that one more time. Place your feet forward. So when you're walking, you now have a cue to give yourself. Big toe, baby toe. When you are squatting, which means every time you sit, every time you stand up from sitting, every time you do a squat move in the gym, every time you bend down to pick something up, we squat as human beings hundreds of times a day, whether we think about it or not. Every time you sit, every time you squat, I want you, for the next 2 weeks, I want you to think about feet forward, feet forward, feet forward, feet forward. Forward feet make happy knees. I say this to my volleyball team all the time. Forward feet make happy knees. If your feet are forward when you squat, your knees are supported by the muscles and the joint no longer has to do any work. There is no pressure there. That is how we eliminate knee pain, and that is how we make you healthy and strong, prevent injury, or recover from injuries that may already be there. I'm going to change my background really quickly here so you can see a couple of pictures. Again, if you are catching the audio version of this, you can find the pictures and the digital versions of these on the Habits and Humor group on Facebook. This top image here is my feet are turning out. So look at my feet there. The right foot is a little bit out and the left foot is super far out. I want you to do a squat right now. Go ahead and stand up and just squat. Don't look at your feet, just look straight forward and do a squat. Now look at your feet. Once you're down, squatting down, even you don't have to go very low, just a little bit. Look at your feet for me. What are your feet doing? Are they pointing directly forward or are they pointing out? Odds are pretty good that one or the other, or perhaps even both of your feet are turning out, even just slightly. But this is impacting the way that your knees function. This is impacting your ankles. This is impacting your hips. This is impacting everything going on with your lower body. So every single time you squat, I want you to think about forward feet. Let's do that again. So now stand back up, position your feet so they're facing forward, and then squat. Feel how different that feels. I want you to balance the weight across your whole foot, kind of leaning back on your heels. If you're squatting and you feel like you're rocking forward onto your toes, lean back just a little bit, stand up a little bit taller, keep your shoulders back a little bit more. And as you sit, put your weight on your heels and keep those feet forward. Whether you're squatting in the air or sitting down to sit on a chair, you should feel a difference. This is what your knees, ankles, hips, and your body wants from you. They want your feet to be placed forward. Every single time you sit, stand, squat, lunge, any sort of those bending over movements, I want you to think about your foot placement. It's like I said, it's going to take a mental change. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to think about it for a couple of weeks, but then it will start to become more habitual. And of course, I'm going to ask you to practice these 3 habits, these 3 tips for how long? 2 months. You know the 1, 2, 3 habit system. If you don't know the 1, 2, 3 habit system, I highly recommend that you go back and listen to episodes 18, 19, and 20, where we talk about 1, 2, 3. 1 is your 1 pillar focus. Focus on one thing at a time. If you are trying to get healthy right now and you have a knee injury, this is going to be the best thing you can do first. Start with this pillar. If you can eliminate your knee pain, every other exercise you do for the rest of your journey will be better, will be more effective, will be easier for you, will be more fun. You will not be hurting when you're done exercising. It's going to change the game. So I promise this is a great place to start. If you don't have knee pain, this is a great thing to add to your warm-up. Just do these as you're going along throughout your day so that you don't ever become injured and you never have to deal with this in your remaining health journey. So again, feet turnout. All you got to do is place those feet forward, whether you're walking, whether you're squatting, whether you're standing, whether you're sitting, all the time. The more often you can tell yourself feet forward, feet forward, feet forward, the better off your body and joints will be. Simple as that. The third habit I want to talk to you about today to help you eliminate knee pain, fix an old injury, or prevent future injury is called blind balance. This is my favorite exercise. I have all of my clients doing this. I absolutely love blind balance. It is the simplest thing you can do, and it takes 1 minute. 1 minute a day, you can improve your entire lower body. More than 60% of injuries are lower body related because we injure ourselves rolling our ankles. We injure ourselves with knee pain. We injure ourselves, all of those kinds of things because of the way the human body moves. So if we can set ourselves up with a really awesome prevention system, then we don't have to worry about those things happening in our future. This is such a crucial, powerful tool, and it seriously only takes 60 seconds. Blind balance simply means you stand on one leg and you close your eyes. Go ahead and stand up again right now. If you're driving in your car, do it later. But if you are somewhere that you can just stand up right now, go ahead and stand on one leg, place that foot forward, of course, and then close your eyes. You probably instantly felt a wobble. You started to feel yourself a little bit shaky. You weren't as confident with your eyes closed. What happened is we just took away 50% of what makes up your body's ability to balance. If we take away that 50%, the visual half, then the rest of your body has to step up its game. And it has to all of a sudden recruit extra things to take over what was just lost. What we've done here is we have reawakened your ankle tendons, ligaments, and your support muscles around your ankles and knees and hips. You're feeling that wobble system because all of those things have at some point realized that they were separate parts of your body and they started to separate tasks. One piece would do one part and one part would do one task. But by closing your eyes, by taking away 50% of its confidence, you force your body to remember that it is in fact one unit, one team, and it does in fact need to work together. So by simply closing your eyes, standing on one foot, you immediately increase your body's ability to work together as one incredible unit. I encourage you to do this for 30 seconds on each leg every single day. A lot of us don't do simple habits because we can't remember to do them. So I'm going to teach you a habit hack right now. Habit hacks are a way to beat the 2-month system. This is how you can immediately have a habit without having to spend the time to form it. Here you go. This habit, I call this coupling. And this simply means you take a habit that you already have and you add another habit to it. I happen to know for a fact that there are 2 times a day that you are standing still for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes. Every morning and every night, you are standing still, brushing your teeth, right? Every single day, all of us do this thing. If you're not, you should add this to your habits. All of us should be brushing our teeth for 2 minutes every morning and every night. Add this to that practice. While you're brushing your teeth, you're already standing there looking at yourself in the mirror. Just close your eyes. This is an absolutely incredible habit that I started way back when I was in college. When I was on that track team, my coach had us we had to do it for 5 minutes a day, but I only want you to do it for 1 minute a day. 30 seconds on each leg, and you will see a massive difference just within a couple of days. I'm not going to lie to you. The first day is going to be hard, and you're going to be like, okay, I'm not very good at this. I don't know if this is for me. If it is hard the first day, you'll feel a lot of that wobble, and that actually is a good thing. The more you wobble, the more those ankle tendons and ligaments have to work together. So the more teamwork you're forming in there, it's actually a good thing. So don't give up if it's difficult. Don't give up if you're not good at it. That's actually a good thing. But you will get better. And here's a quick tip for you. In these pictures, you can see that I'm touching my nose and my belly button. I call these your magic balance buttons, because what this does is it pulls your peripheral nervous system back to the center, and it centers your balance in the middle, which makes it way easier to balance whether your eyes are open or not. Visually, you can do this by staring at one unmoving spot that's directly in front of you, but since you don't have your eyes open, you can't stare at a spot. So this is how you visually stare at a still place without using your eyes. Touch your nose, touch your belly button. Keep your foot forward, have really good posture. Wherever you train your posture, that's where it stays when you're done. So stand up tall, you're brushing your teeth, or you're just standing there, however you want to do it, and touch your nose and your belly button. That will help you center, and just stand on one foot for 30 seconds, and then stand on the other foot for 30 seconds. If you tip over, or if you have to place your other foot down, notice my foot is like 2 inches off the ground. If I have to put my foot back down, that's fine. I just put it down, then I regain my balance, and I pull it back up. Keep your eyes closed for 30 seconds. Set yourself a timer. When 30 seconds goes off, you can open your eyes back up. This is such a simple habit that will make an unbelievable difference for you. I'll tell you one more story before we wrap up here. When I was I was an adult by now. I was probably 28 years old. I was playing in a volleyball league, and I jumped at the net, and I came down the same time as the other girl. We were blocking each other's hit on the other side of the net. And I came down just after her, and I landed on her foot, and I completely rolled my ankle. And I was immediately nauseous, and I was immediately green, and I thought I was going to vomit, which is one of the signs of a broken bone. So I thought for sure I had broken my ankle, but it was late at night. We were playing at like 11 o'clock at night. And so I just went home, and I thought I'll just sleep on it. And then actually one of the girls drove me home because I was like, I don't think I should be driving right now. So she drove me home, and my husband just took care of me, and we put ice on it and did all those preventative stuff. And the next morning I went to the doctor, and the doctor looks at it, and he does an x-ray, and he goes, I don't know if this was not as bad as we thought, or if it had been worse and already healed itself, but there are no signs of even a sprain. There are no signs of any sort of injury in here. But what I can tell you is that your tendons and ligaments in your ankle are so strong and so directly where they should be. Your ankle is incredibly well supported. What are you doing to do that? And I told him for the past 10 years, I'd been doing that blind balance when I brush my teeth. And actually, I used to do it right when I got out of the shower because that's what my coach trained me to do. And then my sister-in-law told me to do it when I brushed my teeth a couple of years ago. I was like, that's brilliant. So I now do it twice a day and I do it every single day because it's easy to remember to do that. So I encourage you, these 3 habits, if you have knee pain or if you don't have knee pain and you don't ever want to have knee pain, you can fix it. You can prevent it from happening. You can make it get better. You can keep it from getting worse. And your body's amazing. It can absolutely heal itself. So give it the chance. Give it the chance to heal itself and watch what happens. Within just a couple of weeks, you'll be able to tell the difference these 3 habits are making. It's absolutely fascinating. So just to recap, your 1, 2, 3 habits for today are your 1 focus is eliminating knee pain and preventing knee injuries. Your 2-month practice, your 2 superpowers, you're going to combine your conscious and subconscious by giving it a conscious effort for 2 solid months until it becomes a habit. And the 3 daily habits that you are going to use to combine those 2 superpowers together are 1, blind balance, 1 minute a day, closing your eyes, standing on 1 foot. 2, every time you step, put your foot forward. Drop your big toe and your baby toe at the same time. Use that foot tripod that you have. The back of your heel and your big toe and baby toe. Drop 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Every time you step. And then your 3rd habit is every time you squat, think feet forward. Align those feet, allow your knees to be forward and your hips to go where they want to go. Quick disclaimer here. This all applies to squat form that is within shoulder width. If you are squatting wider than shoulder width, there's a little bit of a difference in the way that you place your feet. So what we've talked about today with keeping those feet forward applies to anything shoulder width or narrower. If you are going out in wide squats, let me know and we can talk about how to place your feet there. But for shoulder width or narrower, always have your feet forward. Every time you step, walk with those big toe, baby toe dropping at the same time and practice your blind balance 1 minute every single day. Your ankles will thank you, your feet will thank you, your knees will absolutely thank you, your hips will thank you, and the rest of your life will be less pain, more strength, and so much better balance, so much easier on yourself. Prevent that injury, allow yourself to succeed, set yourself up to succeed, and watch as these 3 simple habits make a big difference in the way that you feel and the way that you move. Thanks for tuning in today, you guys. Tune in next week when we talk about another health habit, which is weight loss and fat burn. We're talking about how to target fat when you're losing weight. If that applies to you, make sure you check in next week. I'm Susie B. Thanks for being here.